Alrighty, Tucson, Arizona. This is the Call Me Crazy show. It's been a long time since I last talked to you. I have a lot to tell you. But anyways, real quick, this is episode 257. And the latest news to come out of public access, before I thank him for letting me be on the air, is that I guess we're going to be going to one channel pretty soon. I think by next year, I'm assuming. One channel, public access.
Next June, they're saying.
Next June. But anyways, that's the current news with public access. Due to the fact that we're going to be coming to you via one channel, you'll be seeing less of us, and you'll be seeing less of me on the Call Me Crazy show, which I think is a fucking bad thing, guys. But anyways, this is episode 257. You might be wondering where you have been, Ray, or Crazy, where the hell you been at? But it's been, let's say, a very memorable year. Anyways, I know I keep saying that. A couple months ago, back in June of this year, 2011, as you all know, Call Me Crazy's been doing the Call Me Crazy TV show for quite a while. Next year, I believe it will be the 13, 14 year anniversary. Anyway, I'm approaching the 15th anniversary of pretty soon of Call Me Crazy. But anyway, so that means I'm getting older. Anyways, in June of this year, or prior to June, let's say February, March, I've been trying to take care of myself for a long time, because all my life I had to deal with asthma. I don't know if you people out there ever had an asthma attack. For you people who are asthmatic, and for you people who don't have asthma, it is a very awful feeling knowing that you're not able to breathe. And when you know you're not able to breathe and you're actually not breathing, it's a very awful feeling. But as I got older, that went away. But when I was a kid, I got them quite frequently, asthma attacks. So I always have tried to take care of myself, quote unquote. Yes, I know I did a lot of recreational, extracurricular activities concerning certain substances, including alcohol. But I didn't take care of myself for a long time after that. So when I had started drinking, I tended not to eat. Anyways, I point being, I drank a lot and I didn't take care of my health. So the period where I went through a lot of heavy drinking, I wouldn't take care of myself, and therefore I wouldn't eat. So I would have a lot of issues with colds, and my immune system wasn't very strong. So I got sick a lot. So I was drinking a lot. That was my drug of choice, which is also my vice. Is also can be and has been my downfall. Alcohol. But anyways, so I had tried to quit drinking. I had stopped for several years prior to this year. I have gone several years of no drinking. Then I had relapses. No one's perfect. Currently not drinking right now. But around February, March of this year, I had started getting some pain in I started getting some pain in my stomach area underneath my left rib. At first it wasn't painful. At first I just blew it off as indigestion, acid reflux if you will, which I don't have. But I was just attributing my discomfort just because I thought I had stomach issues. I thought maybe I was constipated or anything. But the thing was, it was getting kind of discomfortable as time went on. I don't know if that's a real word, but as March and April progressed, the discomfort grew in intensity, and it got to a point where it starting to hurt. It started to be kind of painful. And what it was, I had sharp pains underneath my left rib, on my left side of my rib cage. And it was awful, guys. It was fucking awful. I would have good days where it didn't hurt very much. And then I had days where it hurt a lot. And so the time came, I decided, you know what? Over-the-counter medicine like Pepto-Bismol and Zantac 75 wasn't helping. So I decided, you know, I'll go ahead and call the doctor. So I had called the doctor, set up an appointment of this year. This is April now of this year. Set up an appointment with my doctor, our family doctor, and so I told her what was going on, and then she asked the normal question, you know, if I had regular bowel movements, which I said I did, and then as time went on, it occurred to me I really wasn't. I had never thought about that before. And then, so she said, well, you know what, we'll do some tests, and we'll run some tests, she said, and we'll do some urine tests, we'll do some blood work, we'll see if you have maybe some kidney stones, maybe, or we'll see if you have maybe a urinary infection. So maybe that's what it is, we'll find out. So the point is, so that later that day, I had to wait a couple hours, go do some wait for to get have an appointment done that same day to get blood drawn out, so they could do some testing, and then I had to do a urine test, and so I had to wait for the results, and then the results came back, and they were inconclusive. They didn't know what was wrong. The blood work didn't detect anything. So I started getting scared because I didn't know about this yet. What they had done, they had called me up and said, "Hey, if you can come in, we got to discuss your results of the test of the blood work and the urine test." And that's when she had told me that the tests were inconclusive. And by then, this is like 2 weeks after all the testing had been done, she was telling me the results. The pain started getting worse, and it was real bad. It was to a point now where I wasn't really hunched over all the time, but I kind of started having a difficult time walking and bending over and stretching, and it was pretty grody, guys. I don't wish that kind of discomfort or pain on anybody or anyone. And so she told me we'll have to do some more testing, so they sent me down to an imaging center. So this is like my third appointment with another doctor. And so what they did now, we did a sonogram. And we did a sonogram at the imaging center, and I had to wait for the test results on that. And so, since it wasn't my family doctor, I got the test results in the mail, which is not a very good way, I thought, of getting test results. Because I came home from, I don't know what I was doing. I was running around doing some errands. But I had came home, and I looked in the mailbox before I went up to the house, looked in the mailbox, and there's a letter from the imaging center where I had the sonogram done. And so I opened the letter, you know, and I'm that kind of person. I can't wait to read, to hold the letter kind of person. Hold a letter and walk into the house, then open it and read the results. I guess I opened it right there at the mailbox. So I'm opening the mail, and I'm thinking really of nothing. I'm thinking pretty much, okay, I gotta come up with certain things for this item and errands I'm doing. And so I'm ripping up the envelope, and I open it up, pull out the paper, and they're telling me the result, and I get a abnormal result, an abnormal result doesn't really mean much. Obviously it does, but it doesn't mean much. It just means that something's not really normal going on. And so what I have discovered, that I guess what was causing my pain underneath my left rib, and by then the pain had started crawling down to my lower back and to my abdomen, down by my groin area. And then after a while, it was just crawling over to the right side, and it would get painful. And so what it was, the sonogram had detected that I had, they had discovered polyps in my gallbladder and inside and outside my gallbladder, and they had found some outside my spleen. What it was, the polyps, the biggest one was 11 millimeters in size, and which might not sound big in real life, which millimeters is not big at all, guys. But I guess it's big enough. What it was, the polyp was pressing down on my organs inside, and that's what was causing my pain. And what it was, the polyp was pressing down on the nerve ending on my organs, and it was pushing down in my organs. And what it was going on, the pain is what was called pain referral. And basically, just because my lower back was hurting so bad and my abdomen, didn't mean that I had polyps down there. It just meant that the pain was just traveling up and down from the point of origin. And anyways, I freaked out. And I didn't freak out. You know, as time went on, things got better. At the time, I didn't know that. But, so I'm reading this, and I didn't know, you know, I'm a medical student, you know. So I knew what they were, but I didn't research it because it's not my field of expertise. Pharmacology is and pharmacy. But anyways, I'm getting off track. So I didn't know too much about it, so I started freaking out, and then it turns out I had 3 big ones. The biggest one was 11 millimeters, and then I had to do another consultation, and then I had to do more testing. So I called up that specialist, and they sent me to a CT specialist, which is a different kind of procedure than the sonogram, almost the same kind of thing, but not really. It's imaging, X-rays, stuff like that. And basically the sonogram, which I did the first time, with they rub some gel on you, and they put this almost like a mouse pad, what you use for a computer, and with a monitor they're able to look and find and see what they can find in there. But the CT scan was just a big, huge O-ring in this room, and you can lie down on this gurney, and you basically go up and down on this gurney through the huge, I want to say it's I don't know what the perfect word for it. It gets a huge O-ring, but anyway, they made this loud noise, and it basically talks to you, and it's a painless procedure. But after that, they found a couple more polyps and all. I'm not sure of the exact amount they found in all, but I do know they got them all out. But the point was, I got the results from there, and then the doctor had called me and set up an appointment for me to come in and talk to the specialist, and they decided that they were going to go ahead and take my gallbladder out, since it turns out the polyps were not outside my gallbladder, they were in my gallbladder. And so they decided that we're going to have surgery, you're going to have surgery, Ray. And I was like, at the time I was kind of relieved, because they told me they were benign, which polyps mean benign. But they mean that they do test them for cancer anyways, later on when they are taken out. But I wasn't too happy when they said, oh, you're going to have surgery, Ray, for it. The recovery time depends on the person, of course. But anyways, they said, Ray, you're going to have the gallbladder taken out. And at one point I was kind of relieved knowing, okay, now I won't have to deal with this pain pretty soon. But the other reason is like, I'm not really looking forward to the recovery point. And so after that, a week after that, I was scheduled for surgery, and I had surgery August 8th at 5 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep that night. I know it's a simple procedure. I was in and out that day. Sure, I spent the whole day there, but by that nighttime, I was home. But anyways, August 8th, 5 in the morning, I had a report to the hospital. I won't say where, but I had to go to the hospital where my surgery was at. There at 5 in the morning. I could not sleep the night before. I couldn't. I know I did some things I shouldn't have done. Like 2 weeks before the surgery, I had talked about, right before I had talked about the story that I had dealt with my issues of alcohol. And I was so freaked out, guys. I know I'm spilling my guts here, but I was so freaked out. I thought it was the end of the world, and I'm gonna go ahead and get drunk, and I did. I did get drunk. I ended up buying. I don't even remember what I bought, but I ended up buying some regular beer. Yeah. No, it was not. It wasn't regular beer. But anyway, so I got drunk and I felt shitty the next couple of days. I had a moral hangover, which is an awful word. But so the time came before the surgery. I was nervous. I was a nervous wreck. I was reading a lot about it, and at the time went on, I know I had to deal with it my own way, and I know there's been people out there who had worse diagnoses, where I don't want to even think about what kind of diagnosis they had, because there's Parkinson's disease and cancer and the list is endless, but mine was pretty minor. But until somebody tells you otherwise, when you're in the world of the unknown and you're not really sure what's going on, and I'm basically one of the people who's high strung, and I try not to be. But so the time came. I reported for surgery, and I couldn't sleep that night, and I like to think I'm pretty spiritual. So I had prayed and I said, please, God, let me get through this. I know people have gone through worse things, or they've gone through. I know people who've gone through lung transplant and bypass, heart bypass surgery. I know people who had a breast cancer surgery on their breast. So I know a couple survivors, So I went into the room and they prepped me for the surgery, and it was pretty all high tech, They put these huge metal clamps, and they're not really metal. I don't want to say they're fiberglass, maybe they were, but what they did, they put these huge wraparound cuffs around my legs. And I had asked them, what does that do? And what they did, they turned it on, and what they said, and I was asking a lot of questions, guys. I was saying, hey, I was asking a lot. I don't care. This is my life, and I want to know what's going on. And I had asked them, and they said basically these things is going to massage your knees and your shins and your legs, and it's going to keep your blood flowing so you don't have any blood clots. That's nice to know, doctors, nurses, and so then they said we're gonna be putting a tube down your throat during the procedure. The procedure is going to take 1.5 hours to 2 hours. We're going to make a couple incisions. They made an incision through the belly button. They made 2 incisions on the side, and then they made an incision right between the bottom. My bottom left and right rib, where they took the actual gallbladder out. But anyway, and then they said if I had any problems, if I had any history with problems with anesthesia, and I said I didn't. And here's the kicker, guys, which I thought was pretty hilarious, pretty funny before I tune out pretty soon, because it's fucking late. But so the time came. I'm prepped and I'm good to go, and I have 2 IVs going, and I have these things in my legs, and they said it's time to go. And I have my significant other there, and I had my parents there in the waiting room, and I had a couple of phone calls, and I had everyone's thoughts and prayers with me, including on the television, of course, and my niece and nephew were there, and I had some text messages, and so off I went from the prep room, and I'm going down the this hallway, and I'm seeing the fluorescent light go by. And I know it's silly. You're thinking, it's not a big deal. Believe me, guys, it's a big deal. Cause it's a normal procedure. It's done every day, but it was a long hallway, guys. And I'm the doctor asked me, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm fine. Hopefully everything will go well." And they said, "You'll be fine. You'll be fine." And so then they pushed me through these double doors, and I'm being pushed into the surgical room, the OR, which is the operating room, and already there's people there already. I guess I'm not sure what their jobs were, but I guess the assistant to the anesthesiologist was there, and the nurse, and I think there was a respiratory nurse there also, and a doctor, and then also my family doctor was also there. She wasn't participating, but she was there, I believe. I don't even remember. I never once saw her there, but they told me that she was there. But so I'm getting wheeled in there, and it's totally fancy operating room. A lot of chrome, a lot of stainless steel, a lot of monitor, and the monitor is not like the old school monitor. It's pretty much like the iPad monitor. A lot of nice light, red light. And I'm going in there, and I felt like like I know I'm a dork, but I felt like a Marvel superhero, guys, getting ready to go through a Steve Rogers transformation, if you will. But anyway, the funny thing I'm going to tell you guys is that the anesthesiologist said, "Hey, before I'm putting the anesthesia in the IV before the sentence is over. She's going to be totally out." And you know what, guys? I didn't even hear the end of the sentence because I was totally out, guys. And then before I was out, and then I had opened my eyes, guys. Not even a second later, and I was back in my room, in the recovery room, and I wake up, and it seemed like only 2 minutes had passed. And when in reality it had been 4 hours had gone by, and because I had stayed asleep for 2 hours. They had woke me up. I had woke up after the procedure, and then apparently I don't remember, but I fell back to sleep. I went back to bed. I fell asleep. But anyway, it was funny. I thought it was the craziest, trippiest thing I ever felt in my entire life. Was like I never once felt the procedure, but believe me, guys, when I woke up, I was like, "Holy fucking shit, this fucking hurts," cause this fucking hurt, guys. Cause I won't show you my scars, guys, but they got it out. They got my polyps out. They got my gallbladder out. But man, I was hurting like seriously for 7 days. So they prescribed me oxycodone, which is Percocet, and I tell you guys, I take medication, but holy shit, I that recovery time, I was popping 4 Percocets there, like every 4 hours, because I could not hang with the pain, dude. I'm serious, guys, ladies, everybody out there. I cannot hang. But anyways, I'm not taking them now. I don't want to take them ever again. Because what happened is those 3 weeks I was on the Percocet, I was dumb and stupid as fuck. I could not retain any fucking information. Sure, I felt great. I didn't feel any pain. When in reality, it's like I was feeling a lot of pain because they did surgery, and every person is different, so the recovery time varies. But wow, I would come over here with Marty, hang out with Marty, and dude, guys out there, La La Land, I could not carry a conversation with my significant other, Marty, my parents, my niece and nephew, my brother. For example, I'll see you later, guys. Bye bye. I can keep going. Oh, but anyways, what was I talking about? I'm having a brain fart. Oh, I couldn't retain information. But anyways, I was taking the fucking Percocet because I was hurting, guys. But for example, I would see the word Hector and I would say Howard. I mean, how fucking dumb is that? And dude, I'm not putting down any learning disorders. Everybody has them, I'm convinced. But man, I was so silly. I couldn't. I remember I watched Spider-Man 3. I was watching a lot of movies, reading a lot of books. I remember I was reading an NFL book. I didn't remember what I was reading the chapter before it. And then I was like, what season was this? And then I couldn't remember if I had a glass of water already. Oh, it's awful. But the point being is, guys, is I got a clean bill of health. I'm back. I'm here again. And it's been a crazy ride. But hopefully the good things will continue. So for all you people out there in La La Land who have got to go through surgery or who got a diagnosis, but your prognosis might be really good or might be bad, no matter what, I know if you think positive thoughts, stay positive, and look and aspire to a higher power out there, you'll succeed in feeling better, and who knows, you might get better. So hang in there for all you people who have bad health issues. I sympathize. Until then, I'm out of here. This is episode 257. It's not the end though, guys. I got some cool stuff in store for you guys. I got some video montages of some of my favorite songs, some videos of a dying thing called Earth. The Call Me Crazy Show. The Call Me Crazy Show. The Call